Hello, my fellow human, and welcome back to today's message. First, I'd like to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And if you happen to be new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. And we do things completely differently here on this channel. So that being said, if the message does happen to resonate with you, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. So I did have a channel message, and that was that Source wants to address something that's on your mind recently. So we're going to be using the Cosmic Dreamscape Astrology Oracle. And I'm not sure who this is by. It's Knock Knock is the brand, if you want to look up the brand. I love this deck. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, we're going to get into it and find out what Source would like to address. So Source, you want to address something that's on my fellow human's mind? What oracle card is going to help us better understand this message today? I want to address something that's on their mind today, Source. What would you like to share with us? Okay, thank you. Is this something you're struggling to grasp or to reach out to? Alright. Would like to address something that's on my fellow human's mind. What would you like to say today? What oracle card is going to help us better understand this message today, Source? Okay. So we have fire flying in with do it with passion. And we'll look at that in a little bit. I do feel like there's one more that wants to come out. One more message here, Source. Okay. Thank you. So I'll put that there. These cards are a little slippery. On the bottom we have Taurus, slow but steady. Yeah, so there's a lot of slow moving energy, something that you're having difficulty to reach out to or grasp onto. But it's just because the process in and of itself is slow. Having patience is key here. Trusting that things are going to go the way that they need to for your highest good, right? And knowing that our highest good isn't always what we expect life to be. It's for our highest good as Source sees it for our highest good. And sometimes that's a weird differential to make, right? Because we're thinking our highest good, oh, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this. But maybe these three things aren't aligned with us. And so Source is saying, like, I have things that are so much better for you. But you have to trust in that process. And sometimes that's very difficult. So Source, what more would you like to say today? You would like to address something that's been on their mind. You would like to address something that's been on your mind. For my fellow humans today. You would like to address something that's been on their mind. Okay, yeah, so we've got the 11th house here, Libra energy and Venus. So you could be an Aquarius, Libra, or Taurus energy coming in. We also have the fire energy with the Oracle. So you could be an Aries, Leo, Sag. And if not, that's okay, right? This is for everyone. So this could be soul tribe energy, wanting to connect with your soul tribe, right? With the 11th house here, wanting to connect with your unique, authentic self as well. Like, how do I balance that out? And how do I use that to manifest the life that I dream of, the life that I want, the life that I would like to experience? Is it feels like there's a lot of resistance that's coming in here. And resistance to change. Maybe you felt like you'd already embraced your true authentic self, and like, what's the purpose of changing more? And this is that reminder that when you allow yourself to always be changing, to always flow, to be like water, right? It's true. It's you. Water has no shape, and it also carries shape when it needs to, but it's always changing. It's always shifting. It's flowing. It's destructive. It's soft, right? All of these parts of ourselves can bring us closer to our manifestations, but sometimes we become immobile. And what happens with stagnant water? What is this? You don't belong in here. Let's go over here, homie. Go out the window. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Little buggo. He needs to go outside. Just put him out the window. But it's like when water becomes stagnant, it becomes gross and smells bad. It's like sewage almost, right? And that's what this feeling like. Don't be stagnant. Allow yourself to always change for your highest good, always aligning with yourself, always digging in and understanding yourself better. And valuing yourself is priority here. When you value yourself, you can really tap into the magic of you, right? And that comes from self-love, and that comes from self-care, and that comes from self-belief. And not just believing what others are saying about you either. And sometimes questioning what you're saying about yourself. I think sometimes we forget that we're also a vital part in our own journey. We can believe everything that we're saying about ourselves, but we might be believing an old belief, or we might be seeing ourselves through illusion. You want to address something that's on their mind, Source. What is it? What would you like to say here? Yeah, there's like a feeling of defeat that's coming in here. Like maybe you're trying to find some sort of stability in your life. You're trying to find some sort of it could be finances. It doesn't have to be, but it does feel very materialistic by nature. And you're working really hard for it, and it's like, oh, I guess I'm just not going to get it. Like, I guess this is just not the life for me. That's not necessarily true, right? Just because you're not seeing it in the physical world doesn't mean that it's not already here. Doesn't mean that it's not already yours. But we get so used to seeing things with our eyes and believing what we're seeing. But the gift of manifestation is believing what we don't see. Believing in how we feel, and believing in our faith and our trust in the divine realm. Yeah, there's a lack of seeing clearly here. And let's see, we've got the 6 of coins on the bottom in the reverse. This feeling of being impatient, you know, especially with Taurus to come out on the bottom of the deck, and Chiron underneath that. Focus on healing. Yeah, so this is about taking the time to focus on healing from the things, those ideas and those beliefs, especially if it's material gain that you're looking for. This could be a house, it could be a car, it could be money. It's anything that we can touch, taste, see, hear, and feel. And it's this energy of saying, like, if all you're focused on is the outcome, then we're pushing that away from ourselves, right? We're saying to Source, like, I'm lacking this, or I feel a lack in this area in my life. And so naturally we're going to be resisting that, and it becomes sort of like repellent in nature. And so manifestation is about us focusing on healing and not being attached to the outcome of what it is that we want in our lives. And when we become non-attached to that, we then become the magnet for which it attracts to. It's a lot easier said than done, but it's through practice. Yeah, look, manifestation with the Magician here. It's like, I've found this journey, or I found this road that I'm on, and I'm happy being on this road because I've finally gotten comfortable being outside of my comfort zone. But part of our journey is always stepping outside of our comfort zone. Like, we can never truly find a comfort zone, because being in the North Node energy means that we're always expanding and growing beyond our comfort zone. And most people are just happy doing the things that they're doing. And I think I said this on a prior reading not too long ago, but most people don't want to sacrifice their time. And that's why more people aren't experiencing greater things in their life, or aren't experiencing things that they want to do, because they don't want to sacrifice their time. They would rather keep doing the things that they've been doing all along. And it's okay if you have moments or times where that's all you can do is just focus on the things that are in front of you rather than the things you want to be doing. But when that becomes the habit, and when that becomes the only thing that you can do, then you're moving away from yourself, and you're saying, like, oh, it's just easy for me to fall into this comfort zone that I have. So, right, the resistance that's coming out. This is what's causing stagnation, that this is what Source is trying to bring illumination to with the sun here. It's like, I'm trying to illuminate something that has caused a state of stagnancy or a state of non-growth in your life. And it's up to you to choose to change that, right? No one can force you. And I talk about this a lot, but free will is everything here. You know, your spiritual team is never going to step in and do the work for you. That's something that we have to choose to do. Or right now it feels like your focus is on taking action towards the monetary gain, especially being depicted here in the Magician, and not focusing on your thoughts and your feelings. With Chiron coming out underneath Taurus, we see that it's necessary for us to focus on our thoughts and our feelings, because that's what's going to help us to redirect how we see this situation, or redirect how we're feeling about this situation. There's so much that we're not seeing clearly right now, and that's okay. You know, the Six of Coins in the reverse can talk about greed, and it's easy to fall in line with the societal belief of greed, that money is the only thing, or that material gain is the only thing that we need to be focused on in life. But there's so much more to life than material gain. But for people who don't want to see it differently, right, it's hard to convince them of that, because they're not going to see the value in love. They're not going to see the value in wisdom. They're not going to see the value in knowledge. They're only going to see the value in a bankroll. And that's like hitting a brick wall. But we ourselves can fall into believing that as well, because so many people in society have chosen to base their worth on what they've gained in life or have not gained in life, not seeing the innate worth of ourselves already. We have Saturn coming out here, feeling restricted, experiencing struggle, learning hard work and patience. This has definitely been a hard time for you. This has been something that you've struggled with, and you're learning hard work and patience. You could have very prominent Pisces or Virgo placements in your chart as well. We just moved out of the Pisces Virgo eclipse season not too long ago, and in the beginning of the year, Pisces will finally move out of Saturn, and so Pisces will get a break coming up. All Pisces placements. So if you've been struggling, like maybe Pisces in the 10th house or Pisces in the north or south node, right? That's something that's playing a part right now. This is a time of perceived stagnancy, so that you can heal parts of yourself that have been brushed under the rug for too long, or things that we have actually just actively ignored because they're not the pretty parts about ourselves or our journey. And that's okay. That's very human of us. All right, we've got the 4th house here. It says the cultural and family roots, home, peace, and comfort. So we see that this is a generational curse coming in, and that this is something that you have an opportunity to heal from. And when you heal from it, it means that you don't pass it on to future generations. And that can seem like a burden at times, because it's like, why couldn't have somebody else healed this? But we're coming into the age of people who are coming already enlightened as they are being born, rather than those that are willing to succumb and to mold to what society is telling us to be. You have a lot of people right now that are coming in as enlightened beings, and you could have been one of those enlightened beings, very highly likely that you were. So conforming to those beliefs was very difficult for you, but it doesn't mean that they haven't affected you in some way, shape, or form, i.e., especially the big one, which is money. Money will always be the big one, because this world is run by money. This whole of life is run by money, but it's also something that you think about. Did your family have a poverty mindset? Like, was it something that maybe your family joked about growing up? Oh, we're always broke. We're always poor. We don't have enough money to do that. We don't have enough money to try this. You know, asking yourself these questions will help you to dig in and understand parts about your past that are inhibiting you from accruing wealth right now. And I'm talking about monetary wealth, because when you heal internally, you accrue spiritual wealth. Repair. Making amends rather than fun times reveals a relationship's true constitution. Right. So are you actually able to repair and make these amends in the current connections that you have with yourself as well? This is a feeling with self. Or are you just looking to have a good time? Like, I want things to always be fun and fluffy and bright and light. You know, one thing to keep in mind is that we can't always be 100% positive all the time. It doesn't mean we can't have a positive outlook in life, but even the most positive person is going to go through a time and a period of darkness. Why? Because that's life. That's the contrast in life. There's both light and shadow. But it equally means that people who are of the shadow go through periods of light as well, right? That's the yin and the yang energy that we see. When you think of a yin and yang symbol, you have both sides, right? You have the dark and the light, but in each one, there's a dot of the light and the dark in the opposite. And so it's just showing that no matter what side one is connected to, the other side still has precedence in that energy. It's still alive and well in that opposite energy because they cannot exist without each other. Right? So this is finding out what is coexisting within ourselves right now that maybe we've ignored because it's not beautiful or positive or happy, or it's making us feel bad that maybe we do have a greedy mindset, or maybe we are only looking to fulfill a certain want instead of a need, right? But understanding those parts about ourselves helps us to integrate the whole of who we are and accept ourselves totally in this moment. Mountains, stand your ground. This has been a long journey. This has been a long journey. Okay, and you're making progress. But making progress is no guarantee that life is going to get easier. In fact, the more you grow and the more you expand, oftentimes the harder it can get because you're learning different lessons. This is too many, source. Oh, they want that one. Okay, I'll take that one. On the bottom, growth. Yeah. So this is a period of growth for you. We'll get one more. What else would you like to tell them, source? Thank you. On the bottom, love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things, even the hard things, even the perceived bad things, right? And I've talked about this before, but it's like what we see as bad, someone else might see as good. And it's just seeing it from eyes of love. It doesn't mean that we have to see that as good. It's just seeing it from a place of acceptance. Accepting it is allowing us to find solutions to things that we don't like. And so that's why it's interesting we're talking about acceptance here, right? It's like accepting that this does exist within us. And it's through that acceptance that we begin to heal. This card is like a magnet. The last 2 weeks, it's come out in so many readings. Key to intimacy. Intimate love is a core need to be met in relation to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. Okay, so you've learned what love is not through this situation or through whatever it is that you're trying to gain access to, right? And you're realizing that love, like what we were talking about earlier, it's like there's so much more to life than money, but some people don't see it that way. And some people will never see it that way, but you can also tell that those people that see it that way are the most lonely people there are. You know, they can have perceived relationships and everything like that, but at the end of the day, nobody knows who they truly are because they're only concerned with one thing. Take time to reflect. Yeah, so things are slowing down right now for you to reflect on what does love mean to you? What does being an embodiment of unconditional love mean to you? Trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Trusting in the process, trusting that things will work out for your highest good. And like we started the reading, like maybe our highest good isn't what we thought we wanted. It's something that's more aligned with us. And we have to trust that Source knows what that is. Isolation. You could be isolating yourself because of this difficulty right now, but also these could be very isolating thoughts, like feeling like I can't share this with anybody because I'll be judged or I'll be ridiculed or people will have something to say about that. Remembering that you don't have to share it with people. You can share this with your guides, with your spiritual team. Share it with your higher self. Having a conversation with yourself is such a freeing experience. It doesn't make you crazy. In fact, some of the most smartest people in the world have had conversations with themselves on a daily basis. So remembering that this is a way for us to talk things out. Just talk it out with yourself. Talk it out with your guides. Talk it out with Source. All right, so let's take a look at fire real quick. Do it with passion, right? Instead of looking at the outcome, can you show up with a sense of passion, right? So fire, I think these are all alphabetized. fire says, if your heart's not really in it, don't expect to win it. The element of fire in astrology is all about passion, spiritedness, and action. Right now, the universe is lighting up the flames of your desire and asking you to charge toward whatever ignites and excites your soul. Boldly grab the reins of your life by making the first move with a love interest. Didn't I say like it's something you've been having a hard time grasping onto? And it says boldly grab the reins. Oh my gosh. Love interest, chasing after your dream job, or finally doing that one scary thing that you haven't had the courage to try. Whatever you do, do it with gusto. No half hearts or half asses allowed. Didn't know I was going to curse, but we're going with it. The vivacious fire sign energy won't accept anything less than your burning, red hot passion. All right, so what else do we got here? So doing it with passion. Libra, find your balance. Yeah. Libra and Libra. See Libra energy coming out in this energy quite a bit. All right, Libra. It says when what's currently out of whack in your life. Is something stuck in an unsustainable in-between phase? Libra is the sign of the balancing scales, always weighing various options in hopes of creating more harmony. That said, this card is a sign that it's time to address the imbalances in your life and bring things back to a healthy state of equilibrium. Whether it's way too heavy workload or a toxic relationship that's sucking your life forth. Wow, I can talk. Your life force. Find a diplomatic way to even out the scales and restore some inner peace. Going to extremes probably isn't helpful at the moment right now. Moderation is your magic key. Okay, so again, coming back to that place of balance. Why did you start this in the first place? That matters, right? I don't think it was the money. There must have been something that drove you to do this because you liked it so much. But letting go and coming back to that passion and letting that passion drive you. You've learned what love is not. You've learned that loving the money isn't worth it either, right? Because it's not. Money comes and goes. It's an energy. But when we see it that way, we let go of our hold on it. And when we let go of our hold on it, it's both freeing and scary at the same time. But this is what I see here for you. If you feel like this is your reading, leave the little scales emoji down below and say, I choose to balance out my life by bringing in harmony and peace to my actions and my thoughts as I move forward with passion and gusto. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything in the description box in order to do so. With that, I would like to take this time to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides, and especially Source for coming in with this channel message today. And with that being said, until next time, stay human. Bye.